นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ May we all, humans and non-humans, in all realms of existence, including those in the four woeful realms of existence, the hungry ghosts, the asurakai, the demons, the hell animals, and all the animals' kingdoms, humbly offering the life and soul to the grace of the triple gem, to the Buddhas, and to all the brightness. And humbly bow down to all graces of all Buddhas, Maha-Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Maha-Bodhisattvas, Pratyeka Buddhas, Maha-Pratyeka Buddhas, all the fully enlightened ones, the Arahants, the Maha-Arahants, the great of fathers and mothers, the great gurus, great masters, all the Buddha seeds, all the embodiments of the great perfections, please hold the space for all of us. May we humbly declare removal and cancellation of all the firm attachments to life, the deluded desires and expectations for all the elements of the body and the mind, all the deluded mindsets of taking from shapes, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, from mental elements, sensual pleasures, happiness and comforts, all the deluded mindsets of attaining liberation of suffering, and from the unbearable suffering, or the Vedana. May we humbly declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations for all attachments and breaking free, all the deluded mindsets for deluded viewpoints, pride, knowledge, opinions, beliefs, and biases. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all cases of karma in the past rejections towards the graces, the Buddhas, and the great perfections, the Mahaparami. Karma of living life in obsession with all vices, in any types of darkness, night life, enjoyment of shapes, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, mental elements, and all sensual pleasures, including our past karma in using incantation, black magic, dark knowledge, addictive substances, and all intoxicants. Karma of offending the graces, temple, religion, the grace of fathers and mothers, the obsession with lifestyles, living life, obsession with one's own body-mind, obsession with one's own enjoyment. This causes a total rejection and having far distance from the grace of the Triple Gem. Death of karma towards temple and religion due to relying on such institutions to earn one's living. With this, one has to sacrifice one's own flesh, skin, tendons and bones for temple and religion as meat. Deaths of karma that have occurred in the past in defaming, complaining, and scolding, all offenses through words, thoughts, and actions in all cases of karma. May we humbly ask for forgiveness for all these cases of karma from now onwards. And karma of cutting water and all the necessities in life for any groups of beings, or even towards the blessed fortune ones, the great blessed fortune ones, or the graces at any times. Karma of using opinions and meanings towards one another, holding on to relationships which are temporary compensation towards one another, in the family, in the societies, in the nations, in the global connections. These are karma, collective karma, group delusive attachment, group desire, collective desire. May it be forgiven from now on. Ahosi, ahosi, ahosi. Let's open up. Opening beyond opening. Without focusing on any particular object. Not looking at anything particularly. Widen out further and further limitlessly. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with anything. Nothing is in anything. For eons of times, the mind has been overlaid by the desire until it's delusively attached and overlaying on top of all the functions. The natural functioning of the mind or the body has been overlaid by the desires, deep-rooted. The habits of using eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, mind towards sound, smell, tastes, touches and shapes and everything has been manipulated by the delusive attachments, desires, and delusion. And this is unrealized, unnoticed. Therefore, it's like life goes on with blindly action. And even societies try to solve any problems, they touch only the surface, which is the result of the desire, delusion, and delusive attachment. And it repeats itself on ends. The habits are more dense. All the desire to know, to develop, to practice body and mind. Even they try to solve all the problems of the body mind, they also touching at the surface. For all these deep-seated grasping, which is karma, it has to reverse in the way that is not grasping. Instead, give. Doing anything in the way of giving. Working, not working just to earn the income. Working also in the way of giving. Whatever work there is. And on top, giving something that is ungraspable, something that is beyond eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Sound, smells, taste, touches, and shapes. That which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement. And guiding towards everything. This will clear out all the debt of karma of grasping. And all the deep-seated grasping can be faded and eventually dissolved. Which means the ego will be dissolved. The ego is actually the desire, the delusive attachment and delusion. But if one realizes that the mind doesn't have dimensions, incarnations, birth, death, at this point, it will begin to open the great compassion for one another. And all the grasping, taking, efforts to attain, to attain, to obtain, to gain, to get, to have, to be, to become. All these efforts will be gone. So constantly and all the time, open up. Open up beyond opening. No focuses. Not trying to be clear with anything. All the awareness is there. Don't try to add more to it, because that is the desire. When we are scattering this infinite force, There is all concentration, contemplation, insights that is temporarily used while giving the infinite force, while scattering and dispersing the infinite force. And that's all. Let's not be stuck with the ideas of trying to gain liberation or trying to be free of anything. Because that is also deep-seated of opinions and meanings and beliefs and values that have been set up in the grasping mind. This is deprogrammed. Before all this grasping for all matters, there's none. Before desire, delusion, delusive attachment, there's none of that. So we are stepping back to that which has nothing to do with anything. And with this is to be given. And all the terms that are used are to remind one another. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with letting go or not letting go of anything, liberating or not liberating from anything. The repetition of how we utilize the mind, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, looking, seeing, knowing, acknowledging, listening, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. Has been habitual. And for a long time, not just 1 or 2 lifetimes. So constantly use the reminders all the time. All the time. That means blessing will happen all the time. That means always guided by the infinite force with everything, all the time. That means there's a purification for all this deep-seated grasping mind all the time. That means all the habits in every moment of how we used to use the mind and the body functioning is dissolved. All the patterns will be dissolved. The work is just temporary compensation. Incorporate the blessing with it. So that is not just a debt of karma. Moment to moment, using the reminders, self-purifying reminders. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with attachment, detachment or non-attachment. Scatter it into universes with everything. Everything, everything, everything. All the daily routines that happen, that this body-mind functions, it is blindly taken by the desire, delusion and delusive attachment. And it keeps on moment to moment, without realizing it, unnoticed. And it's repeating and repeating and repeating, constantly repeating. And all the relation and reactions that is the result of that repetitious habit cannot be noticed. And this is called life. And it goes on and on and on without realized. That's why it's called deep-seated karma. Karma itself is grasping, taking, attaching, holding on, fixating, grabbing. That's karma, that's samsara, that's realms of existence of samsara. That's the dimension of the mind, which is destined oneself later on. So the most important thing is to step back. Step back to the great compassion. Open up and scatter the infinite force constantly and constantly and constantly, all the time, all the time, all the time. That is the most important thing. Not the life with the families, with societies, with work. That's part of it. It's not to get rid of it, but to incorporate the blessing at the same time. Scattering the infinite force at the same time, all the time. All the time remind of everything. And the foundation of the great compassion together. That's the most important thing. Everything is from that which has nothing in anything. Nothing is in anything. Not in this, not in that.